Welcome to Unity of Richmond. I don't know. Hello? It's on now. Welcome to Unity of Richmond. Good morning. Welcome to all those that are here in person and all those that are online. And we'll get this started. I'd like to start with the daily word. Today's daily word is faith. With the assurance of faith, I move ahead with confidence. Faith is my guiding light. It keeps me hopeful when I'm tempted to doubt and cheerful when I might otherwise feel gloomy. Faith tells me that even when the sky appears cloudy, the sun is still shining brightly above the clouds. Faith gives me a secure footing in the present as I plan for the future. Faith is the assurance that I'm never alone, that everything I dream and do is divinely inspired. Every step I take in the direction of my aspirations is fueled by faith that they can come to pass. All of the wisdom, power, love, and strength of God are mine to express as only I can. Leaving timidity and hesitancy behind. Leaving timidity and hesitancy behind, I use these divine attributes boldly and with confidence. Faith shows me the way forward. The scripture is Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. And the affirmation, together we'll say, with the assurance of faith, I move ahead with confidence. With the assurance of faith, I move ahead with confidence.
Everybody, please stand up. Join us in the congregation this morning.
You are sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love is all that you are. Lead the way, God, show
And again, welcome this morning to Unity of Richmond, and we will start with an opening prayer. So I just invite everyone to take a deep breath in and just release everything before this now moment. In spirit, we come to you from that holy place, that place that we are, the place that we live, the place that we just bask in. For God, we know that the mighty presence of your power and love are moving in, through, as, and for us. And we each come this morning with open minds and open hearts, taking what is ours to take from the lesson, the music, for everything that is going on in the service this morning, and know that we're contributing to that as we allow ourselves to be fully present and fully available. And we just give great thanks for the message, the music, and everything that goes on this morning, for together we make it happen. And so it is. Amen. And together we will say the prayer for unity. Unity of Richmond is a resilient, thriving, healthy spiritual community that is consistently aware of God as a source of unlimited substance and supply from all streams of life. New channels of prosperity are opening and flowing to and through and as us to fulfill our mission and purpose. And so it is. Amen. And also want you to know that after the service, there are prayer chaplains available to pray with you. So please feel free to take advantage of their prayers. And next we have opportunities. On Wednesday night, Reverend Valerie will be doing meditation here, but it will also be live streamed at 6:30. Please join. It will be on Facebook or on the Unity site. Okay, next. Gala dinners. There is a gala dinner on October 16th from 4 to 7:30. It will be hosted by the Hesses and Peggy White and Ronnie Russell as supporting hosts. It's $30, limited spacing. Sign up in the gathering space. And they also want you to know that it's a station-to-station event where you'll be sampling food. And there'll be seafood, American food, vegetarian, sorted cheeses, and a variety of sweets. And the sweets will really be delicious. I can tell you, Fred is a baker. All right, next. Paint like Van Gogh. That class is going to be led by our Susan Moncure. Paint your own interpretation of the Starry Night and be open to amaze yourself. It'll be Saturday, October 30th, from 6 to 9 here at Unity, and the cost is $29, and there is limited seating, and you can sign up in the gathering space. Susan, do you want to say? Okay, there's a wait list. So if you want to see if you can get a spot, sign up in the gathering space. All right, what do we have next? There is one more announcement. Well, actually, there's two more announcements. One is that we are collecting for the Afghan Refugee Women Clothing Drive. You can bring clothing.
Okay, Lynn Johnson, I know you're watching. So, we are collecting for the Afghans, the friends that are here. I'm from Blackstone, Virginia, and there's a fort there, Fort Pickett, which was a decommissioned Army base. I heard there were 10,000 Afghans there. I found that hard to believe. I don't know where the heck they put them. There's also apparently 100 pregnant women there, and it's very limited medical facilities, so they'll figure it out. But Lynn made a plea for specific things, and that is focusing on women's clothes, long dresses, long skirts, coats. Guess what? It's getting cooler. And children's supplies and playthings. So, Lynn, that's for you. And the box is up front, and it'll all be taken over. Catholic Charities is one of the leading charities. If you'd prefer to make a donation, if you look in our Thursday announcements, I think you can see how to make it through Catholic Charities. It goes directly to the people in need. Thank you.
And Carol has an announcement as well.
Thank you, Robin. Well, this must be Lynn Day because unfortunately she isn't here, but Reverend Valerie asked me to make the announcement that she has received an award. It's called the Passionate Care Award. She works and has volunteered at the Crossover Health Ministries for over 11 years. And we all know Lynn has her hands in so many things that impact this community. And we, just really applaud her for all the work that she does in that ministry and the work that she does here at Unity of Richmond, because we know she's always there, ready to step up to the plate. So congratulations, Lynn.
Thank you, Carol. And congratulations, Lynn. All right, this morning we have our guest speaker. Her name is Reverend Lydia Evans, and she is an ordained She is an ordained religious science minister. She facilitates classes and seminars geared to uplifting women's self-esteem. Reverend Evans is the CEO and founder of Reverend Lydia Speaks USA/World, a blog talk Christian radio program heard overseas as well as here in the United States. She is available for guided meditations, weddings, and focus groups. And I'd like to introduce you to my friend, my mentor, my teacher, Reverend Lydia Evans.
Okay. Good morning. I don't know if I'm on or not, but my mouth is big enough, so. I want to introduce the first principle. There is one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. That is God, the good. And the mission statement here, we share the good news that God is unconditional love, expressing as the Christ consciousness in each person. And the vision for unity, we are transformed lives, transforming the world. And I thank you. Ooh, we're going to have some good music here, y'all.
Good morning, beloveds. Is it the wind over my shoulder? Is it the wind that I hear gently whispering? Are you alone? There in the valley. No, not alone. You're walking with me. Is it the wind there over my shoulder? Is it your voice calling quietly over the hilltop, down in the valley? Never alone, for you walk with me when evening falls and the air gets colder, when shadows cover the road I am following. Will I be alone there in the darkness? No, not alone, and and I'll never be. Never alone, you're walking with me. Is it the wind there over my shoulder? Is it your voice calling quietly over the hilltop, down in the valley? Never alone, for you walk with me over the hilltop, down in the valley. Never alone, for you walk with me. Never alone, for you walk with me. Thank you.
Well, good morning again. Well, my topic this morning is watch the signs. That's a hard one. We've all heard the saying that it's the signs of the times, and we're living in the last days. And that's enough to scare you to death, right? And no doubt you're familiar with all the scenarios from the Bible that mark the end of time and usher in the second coming. If you look at it, it would be hard to dispute because the wars, the rumors of wars, the floods, the fires, the hatred and violence that's rampant, the destruction of life for destruction's sake. Now, let's not forget this last year, the pandemic that does not seem to want to go the way. It's open season on our children and anyone who looks different or thinks differently or believes differently or chooses to speak out against man's inhumanity toward man in any way. And it seems that the very ones that we think we can trust are the ones of whom we have become the most leery. And it's getting harder to speak, to live, to walk in your individual truth. So it's right? We read it in the Bible, right? Revelations is no joke, right? And we're supposed to believe that it has to go down this way, that it's going to get worse before it's going to get better. I don't want to be on this plane to see it get any worse. All this is visible and is validated. Okay, I'm a science of mind minister, and I believe in cause and effect. It's written. It just may not be written in the stone that you think it is. God, the Almighty, has given so many different chances to us, and we people have blown each and every one of them. We don't show any signs of doing any better. But if you look at it, if you read it with the eye behind the eye, with the understanding that maybe, just maybe, the end of time represents the end of all of those things that we so fear. And in many cases, it's a paralyzing fear, ushering in the new Christ consciousness. What if? Now, I'm going to take you down this road of what ifs. I kind of like that because it gives me a little bit different perspective on stuff, and it kind of cuts some of the fear. What if All of the stuff that we see is the old fear consciousness just trying to hold on for dear life to what's familiar, trying to stay in this egotistical comfort zone. That's why it puts down people. That's why it does what it does. But what would it take to flip those scenes? How would it look? How would it feel? How do we do it? What would it look like? Now, are we supposed to know what the future holds? Are we supposed to know? I don't think so. And sometimes I really don't think I want to. But what we can do is pay attention to the now moments in our life. If you pay attention and fill it with as much peace and remember with your higher self before you do anything else as much as you can, that changes your perspective. And you know, that makes us, in essence, the gatekeepers of this Christ consciousness. That one little shift, multiplied by however many people are willing to dedicate themselves in a unified field of awareness. And you know what that means? That means consciousness is a collective. And that negative conscious has decided that it wants to be a collective for whatever its ego wants. But if we, the believers of the promise of God, hold on to what we believe, we become a force field, deflecting that bullet of dis-ease and disharmony. You see, the soul of man is a very intricate thing, and is ever and ever expanding. It's learning, it's growing. The only problem with that is it grows from the pictures that the mind gives it. And the mind operates in pictures. So that's why it's so important that you know who you are. Because remarkable things seem to happen out of thin air when you actually know that the creator of all, that creator of love, has made you in the essence of his peace and his kindness and his love and respect, and that every fiber in your being is trying to realign with that essence. You know why it's not working? Because of us. People and their race-conscious suggestions are so worried about whose perspective is right. And that is true. Perspective is everything. So, the process of being able to work together and live in harmony is a perspective. But to do this is first necessary to realign yourself with the promises of God for your life. Now, I have an overactive imagination when it comes to crazy stuff, especially where it becomes a fear of something happening to those I love. So, knowing what I know about letting your mind's eye see things that may never happen, giving energy to that gives it the promise of becoming a manifestation. So when you look at things that may never happen and giving them that energy, I do something that I call watching my signs. When a situation comes up and I start to go down that rabbit hole of what ifs, and I can do that real quick, I pick a psalm or a passage that speaks to what I'm concerned about, and I meditate on it. Then I insert the names of my family, loved ones, whoever it is that I'm praying for. And Psalm 91 and Psalm 23 have become very dear to me because they remind me that whatever is trying to form a relationship with my vortex of energy that was not put into me as a plan for my life can and will be changed. You see, it has to. It's an immutable law that whatever you concentrate your vibration upon has to manifest. That's why you see things happening the way they are today. Now, when I say that to you, the question I have gotten is, well, if that works for those who believe in the promise, doesn't that also work for those who believe in destruction? You know why? You know why? Let's just turn this all upside down. You know why? Thank you, interactive. Because negative energy doesn't have something that we, as believers in the promise, have. And that's connectedness to the divine. There is nothing negative in the divine, so it has no power except that which you give it. And negative energy is just the ego trying hard to survive. Look, think of it like this. When enough of us send our thoughts out of peace based on the promises of God and believing that the promises are true, how much greater would that vibration work? And I just told you it's the only vibration that has connectedness to God. So if we decide to do something like that, it would change things. We just have to be bold enough to hold on to it long enough to be able to see the change. Have you ever been in a conversation or in a group of people where the whole vibration is running through your body? You feel electric. Everything feels right. There is nothing that can go wrong in this moment, right? And we're supposed to live in the now moment all the time. It's always the now moment. It's never anything else. We are here because things like that will make your heart explode with joy and hope. Imagine feeling that way all the time. Now think about the feeling and the vibration you have when something is not going your way. It's heavy. It's negative. It brings down your energy. And I don't know about you, but I will spend the time it takes not to feel that heavy burden, whatever it takes. The lighter you keep your vibration, the higher it'll rise and expand. And when it does that, just like when you're in that conversation with other people and you just feel their energy and it's good, it will drag everybody within that ripple up in the spiral with you. So if you think about that, when you draw more people with you, you become the dominant force. And I choose to feel light. I choose to feel alive. And I told you I like Psalm 91 and Psalm 23. And here's why. Because I choose to feel light, alive, and sheltered in the arms of the Almighty, sitting by that still, cool stream in the grass, just letting my toes run through the grass, with my cup running over with joy and happiness for everybody and everything, including myself, who does not know the bliss of being. And believe it or not, there are people who have never, ever experienced that bliss of just being. To be yourself, to love who you want to love, to do what you want to do, to go where you want to go, and know that I'm supposed to be here. That's what the elders in my family called standing in the gap. Now, older people might understand that, standing in the gap. And what is the gap? In my humble opinion, the gap is that space between where everything in your life is seemingly going to hell in a handbasket and the life of promise over here that you could really have. This gap is where you make your decision. This is your fork in the road. But if all you know is something negative, if you have surrounded yourself by people that are nothing but negative, or maybe jealous of you, so they just keep saying things that will just drop your energy. You need somebody. They used to say prayer warriors. Because maybe at this point in time, I don't care what kind of believer you are, maybe you don't have the strength to conjure up anything except help me, Jesus. And sometimes it doesn't seem like it's enough, but that's the best prayer you can ever say. But sometimes it doesn't feel like it's enough. So you need somebody there to stand and hold that bridge on which you can walk across from disaster to delight. Someone, anybody, who can remind you of who you are and whose you are and why you are here. You are here for a reason. And that reason is to uplift, to live, to love, to enjoy, to be. Just be. But negative energy doesn't want you to be, right? Notice that I said, it seems that everything was going to hell in a handbasket. Because that's not reality. Anything that does not bring you joy, that causes you pain, any pattern of thought that stirs reality in a negative direction, is the stock for the soup of fear. Now, everybody knows how to make a good soup, right? Starts with the stock. So if you want the soup of your life to be better, you got to get rid of that negativity. You have to stand in the knowledge of what you know. You have to have no doubt that you are cared for and loved and honored, because that forms a wall between you and fear. And if you just give that little meditation practice and that little changing and putting yourself together in God's great grace and space and mercy, if you just give it a real try and send that feeling out to others, silently or aloud, and practice living your life from that space, it will be the end. It's the end, all right. It's the end of fear and all of its minions like hate and bigotry, turning the unknown into the manifestation of the promise of peace and protection and love and joy. Y'all know who you are? You are who and what we've been waiting for all this time. Because we have hope. And hope, which is the tranquil state of the soul, who is assured of the best is yet to come, because it is so aligned with its creator's peace. It knows it has nothing to fear. And I'm going to give you an illustration. Mark 6, 50 and 51. Now, I'll give you a little background. This 50 and 51, just ahead of 50 and 51, Jesus had just fed the multitudes. And these people were hanging on, steadily giving them something. Sometimes people hang on you when you're not even giving them the right thing. It's just something free, and this is what we want. But people were hanging on him, and the Lord was tired. His human side had to have been absolutely disgusted at the fact that he's been here preaching and teaching and doing and bringing forth and killing demons, and you're looking at me, and you still don't believe. So I'm telling you, if Jesus had to go apart and get himself together and realign with his Father, you don't have a chance if you don't know how to realign. So what he did was he sent his disciples ahead of him. He put them on a boat and told them, I'll catch up with you dudes later. See you. While they were on the boat, a storm started, a tremendous storm. Now we know that water, that turbulent, that chaos is a thought pattern. That thought pattern was about to drag them down. Now, they're fishermen. When you have a job that you do every day, you know your job, right? So a seaman, anybody that sails, knows that if you get caught in a storm like that, and I didn't say they were on the Carnival cruise ship, I said they were in a boat, okay? A little fishing boat carved out of wood. And the waves were about to sink them. So there is fear because they have what they thought was the knowledge of what was about to happen to their life. And it wasn't going to be pretty. It was going to be the end for them. And in the middle of them being sore afraid and gripped with fear, here comes Jesus just walking across all the water. And that scared them to death too, because they'd never seen anything like that. Now, let's get this straight. You just saw me do miracle after miracle after miracle. I just fed so many people I had to go take a nap. But you still have that underlying fear. And you know why? There are people that think, yes, I'm safe in the presence. But they thought the presence had to be physical. They did not think that he had given them the power to rule their life and to save and to do. And they even told them, these things I do, you will do more because I'm about to go to my Father. Did they listen? Nope. It wasn't until they noticed that it was Jesus coming toward them. Jesus, that peace. Jesus, that calm. Jesus, that hope for tomorrow. Not until he actually got in the boat did they calm down. Now, what does that tell you about the presence of peace in your life? Have you ever seen Jesus? Me either. And I'm sure that picture that most people show is not what he looked like. But I really have to say that if you are to walk in the light, and Jesus said, I am the light, we Christians formed a religion behind the man Jesus. He didn't tell us to do that. He told us, walk the way I walk, think the way I think, talk the way I talk, believe what I tell you. Yeah, he's the calm. He brings the assurance. His thoughts and just the thought of him brings assurance. I can't tell you how many times I've been anxious. Now, I work in the far West End, and when I take up Parham Road, there's a church. I forgot the name of it. It's a very big church. Forgive me. But there is a cross on the top of this church, and I can be so anxious, and the traffic early in the morning is bumper to bumper, and I just can't stand it. But when I get, it's past River Road, when I get to that church, Grove Avenue Baptist Church, thank you. Sorry, Grove Avenue, if you're listening. But that cross fills me with peace. Why? Because I believe in the hope that the cross stood for. I believe that what Jesus said was inside of me is inside of me. I know my worth. Do you know who you are? You need to know who you are without pause, without hesitation. Know who you are. And when that presence and peace itself shows up and enters a situation, it changes the perception from fear to calm and assurance. Yes, watch all of these signs. But know that we are the gatekeepers of peace. And as such, we stand in the truth that the power of God is greater than any fear you may have, no matter what it is. And as Katrina sang, you're never alone. Now I'm going to leave you with this, and it's Romans 15:13. And it says, may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace, and in believing that you may abound in hope through the power of the Holy Spirit. Let the Holy Spirit reign, and let that reign lead you. And I thank you all for listening while I speak to myself. Now let's have a little meditation. If you can lower the lights a little bit, thank you. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, do so. If not, just soften your gaze. And we're going to take a little trip, a peaceful trip, so that you will continue to know you are not alone, and that you matter, and that the things that you do matter. So close your eyes if you feel like it. And let's imagine that it's a very beautiful fall day, not cold, not hot, but you're walking through the woods because you want to look at the colors of the leaves change, and you're so caught up in looking around that you never noticed there's a door, just there, and it's glowing. Now, you're going to walk toward this door. And when you push it open, what you're going to see is the longest table set with the most beautiful dinnerware. People sitting on both sides. And when they notice you, they start to applaud, and everybody's glad to see you, and everybody is excited because you're there. This is a banquet table, but you can't see the end of it. It goes as far as you can see and beyond. And when you notice the plates and you notice the bowls, you notice there are no food in any of this, not edible food. But what is there is intentions. And as you look closer, you realize that you are the person that they are here to celebrate. And in those bowls, these people have put everything that you mean to them. All of the love you've given, all of the unconditional support, everything that you've ever done. And some of these people you don't believe you've ever seen before. But you touch someone who touched them. And everything that you see, all of this beauty, all of this magnificence and the opulence is because of you and your belief in yourself and your knowledge of yourself and the promises of God for your life and your willingness to share. So sit for a while with your friends and enjoy just being there and relish the thought that you have spread the love of God. So sit quietly for a while. Take a deep breath and enjoy everything that you see. It feels good to be supported and to be loved and to be acknowledged. But just know that you're only getting back what you put out. That's the way it works. It's time for you to leave now, but when you stand to leave and walk toward the door, look back one more time at all of your friends and their faces and the laughter and the joy. And just think, you had some part, you played some part in that joy. Walk out to the door, look back one more time in gratitude. And as the door closes, continue on your walk, and you give gratitude for the leaves changing and the dirt beneath your feet and the birds that you hear, and know that this is a place that you can come to any time you wish. This is your place. This is your banquet. This is your life. Take a deep breath and release. Feel the seat beneath you. And when you are ready, you may open your eyes and come back to this now beautiful, supportive moment. Thank you. I want to give one more thank you, and that's to the musicians, to the audio-visual team. Come get your props. Come get your props. To our fantastic, beautiful singer. And for Debbie for making sure everything is nice and clean. I want to give thanks to Reverend Robin. And I thank you, Unity family, for having me. Y'all come back now, yeah? I have one more thing to do, and that's the prosperity blessing. And I want to call our ushers forward. And as we prepare our gifts, I would like for us to say this blessing Divine love. No, I'm just looking because everybody was just so quiet with that divine love. Divine love, expressing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful. Come on, y'all, you got come on with it now.
God, you are every mountain. God, you are every ocean. God, you are every canyon, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every morning. God, you are every midnight. God, you are every moment, every second of my life. Everything I see and everything I do and everything I am is you. Everything above and everything below and everything I know is you. God, you are every sunrise. God, you are every moon glow. God, you are every star shine, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every springtime. God, you are every snowfall. God, you are every season, every second of my life. Everything I see and everything I do and everything I am is you. Everything above and everything below and everything I know is you. 'Cause you are the very breath I breathe. And your perfect love created me. Everything I see and everything I do and everything I am is you. Everything above and everything below and everything I know is you. Everything I see and everything I do and everything I am, it's you. Everything above and everything below and everything I know is you. I am and I see and I do, it's you. Everything above and everything below and everything I know is you. Thank you.
Go ahead, girl. And band. Let's have the ushers come back, and we're going to bless our gifts. And together we'll say, we give thanks for the gifts that will support our mission of creating a spiritually awakened world. Thank you, Debbie and Kristen. And together we'll say the prayer of protection. So if we stand up, please. The light of God surrounds us. Love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Oh, hold on. I'm supposed to be something else.